Welcome to my first live stream. This is Lauren with Oil and Rope Games, and I am going to be showing off a new feature of our rapid prototyping tool, Paperize. And that feature is what you've all been waiting for, a template editor. So I will just pull it up by editing this here untitled template. Hello, Aragoth. How are you? All right. So I'm going to make a template for, I'll just stick to our, the same demo I've been using, the love letter stuff, since I already have that spreadsheet sitting around. And let's just get started. So I'm going to click here to make a new layer. And this layer will be the one for the rank of the card. So I'm going to click and drag, as you see, to put it up here in the corner. I'll rename it for ease of use. Call that rank. Great, Aragoth, glad you're excited. It's my first live stream, so I wasn't sure if I was going to be broadcasting to crickets or what. Hopefully this is an exciting feature for people as a template editor, since we've been talking about it for a long time. Okay, so rank is up here. Now you'll see that I've got font options here, so you can pick which font you want. And right now these fonts are, well, you can't see the font, so you can't tell what you're picking from. So I'll improve that. And there's not very many fonts, so I'll also improve that. Probably like an integration with Google Fonts or something like that. And we can set the alignment. I'll set that to center, and then you'll see this layer has a background and a border, and I can actually toggle those. I can turn the background off or the border off, and you can also change the color of them. So you can kind of do a little bit of design here, but it's not going to be super pretty. But I'm going to go ahead and just set this to gray so we can see it in the final version. There we go. And there we go. Okay, so I've got a rank. Let's make a new layer. That will be the name of the card. So I'll click and drag to resize that. And these are probably too big. I need to make a live preview around here, but we'll get there. You'll see you can have a default text, which could just be text if you didn't want your spreadsheet to override it. By default, of course, the spreadsheet is meant to override these things. So you could have a default text here of, like name or something, or if you wanted it to look like placeholder text, you could. I'm going to leave it blank for now, and let's see, I need to rename the layer, so we're going to call this name. And again, this time, I don't even know what these fonts are, but I'm going to select one for interestingness. Okay. I don't have an autosave yet, but I'm going to go ahead and click save so we can save as we go. There's my amazing pop-over save dialog. All right, now we need the image, the big old image that everyone loves. Just drag that out. And with the image, you actually probably don't want to see this background and border. That will make it kind of look ugly when the image doesn't quite fit. So I'm going to hide those things. I'm going to click here to change it from text to image. There we go. And so there could be a default image as well, and that's one thing we've added. If you want to have an image that's there by default, and then the spreadsheet overrides it if there's something present. And that's how you can do the big pretty backgrounds that we had previously. Let me rename that to image. And then let's see, we need one more layer for the rules. I'll bring that down here. And I'll rename that to rule. Okay, I'll put a default here. Well, I don't want to put a default here. Okay, I'm going to make the name. Oh yeah, I'm trying to actually so I actually did bring in that font. You can see it looks differently here, but it's not what you see is what you get, so it's a little misleading right now. Lots of rough edges to shave off. Template editor of course, is a really daunting task. I really didn't want to, implement a tiny fraction of Photoshop's functionality poorly in JavaScript, but kind of started going that way, and I just went for it, and now here we are. I think it's gonna be really cool at some point. Let me just crank this text up. But for now, it's definitely rough. But I'm trying to give you game designers the flexibility you need to build pretty much anything, because I want you to surprise me. I want to give people tools that they can kind of make what they want, without me putting a straitjacket on you or expecting your game to look like what's already out there, or things that I can imagine. I'd rather let everyone do the imagining for me. Okay, let me save this. The checkerboard background you see here, that's kind of like standard look for transparency. So that's what Photoshop and other Adobe products will use when there's no background. So there's nothing back there right now. We could put something back there, certainly. I'll come back to that. Let me. Okay, so I'm saved. So let me jump back over to my prototypes, and I'll show you how we get things from the spreadsheet into the new template. All right, so I'm going to create a new game. Oh, and you'll see there's templates here. Actually, look at the preview. I see that I only set that one box to gray, and the rest of them are white. I'm going to go back and change that real quick, because the white you won't be able to tell when it prints. Unless I make it something else. So I'm going to change the background color to just some gray. And of course, if I were being meticulous, I would be setting those to all the same gray. But I'm live streaming for the first time and I'm nervous, so you get what you get. Okay. Back to prototypes. This is all running on my own server locally. It's not public, so it's a little slow. It's because it's sharing bandwidth when it goes out to the web with my live streaming right now. That's fine. Okay, I'm gonna start a new prototype. So I click new. No more questions up front. When you click new, I just want to create an empty project for you and drop you right in. So that you can see that's what we've done here. So we have an untitled deck. You can see I've got some uploads already in there. Ooh, those aren't supposed to show. Okay. All right, let's get the spreadsheet in there. So I'm going to hop over here and save this as a CSV. This is the same as it ever was. Hop back over to Paperize, and I'm going to click upload. You'll see now we've got File Picker integrated, which makes it really easy to bring in things from your own computer, or from a link anywhere on the web, or from other services like GitHub, Evernote, your Gmail, Cloud Drive, pretty much Facebook too. I mean, it's got a lot of services, so I can enable it really quickly for people to upload anything they want from anywhere in the web really fast. So I'm using File Picker for that. So I'm just going to click and drag my CSV in there. Boom. The page is going to reload now that the file's been uploaded. There we go. Aragoth, I see you're asking. Aragoth's asking if we can type in hex values for color codes. That's a great question. Let me open this in another window real quick, and I'll go back to the template editor. I think so. I'm almost certain. I used a plugin for the color picker, and I feel like it was really full featured. Or I attempted to grab a full featured one. I'll let that load. It takes a sec. Back over here. Okay, so I've got a CSV uploaded. Now I'm going to jump over to pick a design. So at design, so here we are. So here's all the templates that are in there already. You'd be able to browse through their templates or even search and whatnot. This stuff's nothing yet. It's potentially how the thing will look. But I'm still deciding on the experience of all this. Okay, so I can click my untitled template to set it. And I've got lots of page reloads in here when it really should be much faster as kind of like a single page app, but we'll get there. Okay, so you can see now, here's the template it's brought in here. And you see over here, we've got the columns from that spreadsheet right here. It may be a little hard to read, but each of these little pill capsules is a, here, let me zoom in. Oops. Blow it up. Each one of these pill capsules you see is a name of one of the columns. Well, what we've done now is that you can click and drag them to where you want them on the card. So I'm going to click rank and drag it, and you'll see it kind of ghosts over where you're going. So I'll drop it here where the rank is. Name goes here. Rule goes down here in the bottom, and image goes here in the middle. Okay, so there it is. That's how you map columns to templates now. We had to get that to be a lot more robust since you can kind of bring your own templates at this point. So I needed some way to make it where you could kind of do that without messing things up. And yeah, so that's actually done. So those are mapped. It should have noticed that they've been mapped now, and these print buttons would have appeared. Again, something I need to do. I'm just going to refresh the page. And when it refreshes, it's going to show. Okay, yeah, so those buttons now are there. So you can print just this deck, or you can print the whole game. The whole game is only one deck right now. I'm going to click print this deck. It's going to go to work pulling those images down from Flickr, which plenty of them are busted at this point. I haven't updated it since I made that demo back in February. But there you go. I just made a game from scratch. The whole template from scratch this time. Oh, actually, look, all the images worked. How crazy. It might just be my server, my production server that's been blacklisted from Flickr. Thank you, Flickr. Thank you for not getting too mad at me. Yeah, so now you're looking at this and you're saying, well, these numbers are too small, or, whatever. So I'm going to leave that open and pop back over here, jump back to the template. Actually, whoops, I've already opened this. Right, so let me answer Aragoth's question about background colors. So I'm going to pop open the color picker again. I could swear it would allow that. You're right. It doesn't. I don't see any options. That's a great question, Aragoth, and we really should be able to do that. There's no reason not to. And of course, this color picker is just handing me a color at the end of the day, in hex anyway. So I will look in to see if I accidentally disabled that or something, because that's obviously useful. And I mean, furthermore, we probably should be able to drive colors from the spreadsheet too. It'd be pretty great to be able to determine the colors, alongside the rest of your data and stuff like that. So I foresee lots of options like that as we figure out what people want and need, and I can stabilize the core of things and kind of get to the point where we start adding useful hacks around the outside. But yeah, it looks like there's no hexability right now, and that's definitely an oversight. So maybe even if this color picker doesn't expose it, I can add another input here, and you can do one or the other, and they'll just change each other, and that'll be fine. So actually, give me 5 seconds. I'm going to write that down. Maybe. There we go. Cool. Okay, what was I doing? I was looking at so I looked at the game and I didn't like the way the 1 was rendered there. So I'm going to come over here, and that's the rank. So I'm going to look at rank, the rank layer, and it's not working because my code needs some help. I'll just refresh the page. Aragoth's now asking me about the pixel versus percentage stuff. Yeah, I think that he wants to know if we can change this to pixels instead of just percents. And yeah, I think that's absolutely going to be the case. I started in percents because I was rendering things See, I'm rendering this for you here, but I've also have a totally different renderer on the back end that renders it to PDF, and PDFs don't deal in pixels. So percentage was a nice hack to kind of speak the same language in both places. Of course, I can hide that percent conversion and let you use pixels here, and then I can convert it to percentages on my own behind the scenes seamlessly. So I can definitely support that at some point. There's also the idea of multiple sizes. So this poker size playing card is one thing. Eventually we'll support mini cards and eventually square tiles, hex tiles, things like that. I'm avoiding it for now because the complexity there it kind of explodes quickly, and I'm really trying to shoot for an 80% solution right now. That like most games can make use of in some way, just to kind of prove whether this is useful or not. And then of course I think we did that with the first version. But all this is to say that I sort of punted on the pixels, like how to actually work in pixels before now. And I still haven't made my decision how to do that yet, and I got to do some testing on that. You'll have to tell me what you're kind of expecting. I mean, if you print at 300 DPI and it's a 2.5 by 3.5 inch card, that translates to whatever it is, 550 by 750. Is that what you expect? I mean, it's not pixels so much. Like, it's not going to be the same. Like the translation to the screen versus the translation to paper are different, fundamentally different, and it's kind of a maddening subject. So when you Google about it, you find lots of righteous indignation about what people should and shouldn't be doing. So I guess my question for you, Aragoth, is whether you expect that. Are you well versed in pixels versus print? Are you not printing at all? Don't even care? Or is it just a matter of you don't actually care if 12px is 12px, just a matter of you really want to bump things at like a very tiny thing, a very tiny like increment? So I mean, you could change these like 16.7. You could change the bottom to 16.8. You didn't even see the change there. That would have been the bottom. I'm sorry, that would have been the bottom of this. Maybe you did see the change. Sorry. We'll change it to 16.9. Yeah, so it moved up just a tiny little bit here. Cool. So Aragoth responded to me and says that it's a tough solution. Good. Just want to make sure that I wasn't like totally overlooking something, or that I had not made like a drastic mistake there. So, but my thoughts are on this for sure, and we definitely need a way to work on this stuff. I don't think percentages is right. Like 10%, like the left to right is not the same. Like width and height are different, so 10% from the left will not equal 10% from the top. Whereas if you say, you probably mean that, right? Like you probably mean 12 pixels from the left. You probably want that to be the same like physical distance from the top if you use the same value. Anyway, point being, I do believe that percentages are a little wrong. Okay, so I was wanting to crank up the font size on the rank. I'm going to go ahead and take it up to 32 and save it. All right, template is saved. So now I think all I have to do is come back over here to this PDF in this window. I think I can just hit refresh. Let it spin for a sec. There you go. Now the rank is huge. And that's a little bit slow of a feedback loop. I think ideally you'll be able to kind of like render one card like inside the template editor interface and like really quickly render it so that you can make rapid modifications. So I had a preview button here. It's not enabled right now, but I think something like that, or maybe like you're toggling what you see here, looks like the final form or something. Let me really quick jump in to show you kind of what we can do with the image uploads. So I'm going to set a default image here. So I click change, and okay, so these are some images that I've already uploaded, and I can set one of those really quickly. Okay, I lied to you. It's not a link like it's supposed to be. Oh, nope, it is. Totally is. Oh, lots of usability stuff to go. Anyway, so boom, that's been set. I'll save it. And if I jump back to editing that prototype. I'm going to go back over to Love Letter, and I'm actually going to remove one of these. I'll remove the guard is the most abundant one, so it'll make it faster if I remove him. I'm going to drop him out. So there's no image for the guard now. And I will now download it again as a CSV. And so I've already got the CSV source set. Now ideally, since it was a Google spreadsheet, I would just be able to click refresh from spreadsheet. It would go out and do all the hard work for you, sync up the changes, and we'd be done, right? Like one click. It's getting there. We'll get there. Okay, so as for now, I've got to click change source. So all that does really is wipe the source. And there's the source. If I wanted to like put it back, I could just click there and it would go right back. But I don't. I'm going to need to upload a new one. Put this back in there. And remember, all we've done here is remove the guard's image. And I placed a default image. Oops. A default image so that if there's no image in that position, something will render after all. And I'm going to remap this. Quick refresh so that the print button pops up. Great. Now I'm going to click print. Oh, I forgot. I've already got this thing printed right here. Oh well. Okay. There you go. The default image has appeared where previously I had specified one in the spreadsheet. Obviously, like a big dragon probably isn't the appropriate default. You probably want some more placeholder-y kind of art, but there it is. And to show you where that dragon came from, it's actually really easy. So I'm going to click change, and I'm going to click this upload button, and this pops into File Picker again. Love File Picker. So check out the stuff they've allowed for images. So again, I can pull it from Google Drive. If you got a drive full of files, I can sync to that. Your Facebook, your Flickr, Evernote, Gmail, Instagram, an arbitrary link you bring, FTP if that's a thing that you do in the 21st century. Okay, but check this out, web images. So I can click web images. So maybe you don't even have an image. You haven't even gone and done a Google image search or anything for it yet. Great. Just type dragon here. File Picker will do the work of going to find you some nice dragon pictures. And I'll take this sort of Chinese festival dragon. Boom, there it is. Make sure I save that template. Head back over to here, refresh. New dragon. Just like that. And now if we were to hit change, oh sorry, that dragon should have appeared here. And that's another thing I have to do without requiring a refresh. So now when I go to change the dragon, see all the images I've previously uploaded are here. So you can kind of build yourself a library of images that Paperize knows about first class, and you can kind of throw them around as you would like. Another thing, obviously, so you're setting defaults in here. It'd be nice if you could actually reference these images from inside your spreadsheet. That will have to come later, but I'm imagining some kind of shorthand for referencing images that you've already given me. It'd be really nice if you could just click and drag a folder of your images onto Paperize and just drop it in there. And then I would pull them all up, upload them all, index them, give them some nice name based on their file name or something, and then you could just reference them by just the file name or the collection name / file name or something like that, and really simplify these spreadsheets and keep all your stuff in one place. Then all you have to do is re-upload into Paperize a certain image and it would change for you. So that's not here yet, but anyway, there it is. So yeah, I guess I'd ask you, Aragoth, any thoughts? Is this kind of in the direction that you're hoping to go? or anyone else, obviously, who may or may not be watching. And I'm gonna take this over to YouTube and post it here in a moment for people to look at later. Erigoth says, this looks very exciting. That is what I was hoping for. Yeah, it's funny, there's not a whole lot to show really, but this just getting this interface out there and letting people use it, I think there's going to be a lot more. Go ahead, shoot if you have more questions about formatting. And if you'd rather me answer them in text form on the forum or something, we can do that. But I am definitely free to live stream a little bit longer if you'd like, or dig into it again. Says the kind of customization this will offer is great. I think that's right. Again, I want to give you guys a green field to make stuff with instead of whatever I can come up with beforehand. Curious about the alignment options in the layers. Yep. Did I? Yeah. So alignment options. So we've got font has an alignment, left, center, right, and image has an alignment. I don't think I've actually made this robust yet, but horizontal and vertical alignments, and I'm just defaulting to center, and it's the image is no longer being stretched, I want to say. I don't think I'm stretching it. I think I'm bounding it to the box. Erigoth says, can you add further options for that text can be aligned from top and bottom as well as the current left to right? Right, so you would like to say, for instance, so say this rule block, all I've given you is, start from the top left, center align everything, or right align everything. And you would like, if there's white space at the bottom of the text, you'd rather that white space be at the top. That's a great question. I will have to check into the way I'm rendering things in the browser and in the PDF, but so I can't answer yes or no at the moment, but that is really needed, especially for things like party games or like word games, when a card just really has nothing but a large block of text on it. And obviously you don't think like Apples to Apples or something, Cards Against Humanity maybe, where there's just lots of text on the card and you'd like it to kind of be in the middle of the card. Because some will have like a single 3-word sentence will be on the card, while one may have a whole paragraph, and you want them both to be aligned to basically the dead center of the card. Yeah, and that I'm almost certain we can do that. I just haven't exposed it yet. That's a great point. I'm wondering, is there a center as well? Yeah, of course there is. Yeah, so it's just vertical alignment as well. Okay, great. Yeah, I can work on that. Also, is it possible to set the base transparency to a solid color? Base transparency to a solid. Yeah. So what you're talking about is just the checkerboard is like maybe bothering your eyes or something. So you make a layer, and I'll just set this layer to be 0, 0 top left and 100, 100 bottom right. Okay, so there's the whole thing. One color. Now I need to move that layer down. So the new layer, let me change the name of it to background. Let's move it down. I think I can move it down without opening it. Down, down, move it down. All right, so now it's in the back. I want to get rid of the border on it. So I can change the color of this whole big background thing. Now it's a different color. Yeah, okay. So is that what you were looking for? It's and of course, like, this is how you would get. So let's, we can make that an image. We can say the spreadsheet can't override that image. Like, you're never meant to override that. Great. And then let's upload an image. So I'm gonna pop into my computer, and I'm gonna say search for 5up for those images we already had, which again, this whole thing goes away, right? Like, I don't have these images anymore. There you go. So now that image is in there as the background, and you can't overwrite it. It's just a layer that's in there that's static. And so if I save this and go back over to our prototype and print it again. Here it says he loves the default image. Yeah, and there's a default text as well, and I think probably colors could do the same thing, like things where you set colors or shapes or things. You can have a default one that you only override when needed. So this isn't going to look right, because I've already drawn stuff on the card and I've got a background now. But let's print it anyway, because I like to print really ugly things. Everything's so much slower while I'm live streaming. It's hilarious. This is my first live stream, so I'm just like learning about how heavy it is on the old system. There we go. So that magic card is back there, right? Like, if I had done a bit, I should have hidden all the layers. Let's do that real quick. So that'll be easy. So we'll hide the backgrounds on everybody. Save it. Refresh. It's kind of hard to parse, right? I mean, so this image has taken up the whole width of the thing, and yeah, I mean, this text now doesn't have a background, but if you had drawn the boxes kind of aligned to this, it would look a little better. But ultimately, I think we're going to go away from this, though, not having these backgrounds with the built-in things. Like ideally, I can draw a background. Ideally, the editor, the renderer, can draw a background as good as this. And this is kind of a simple thing, right? Like a stroked, rounded box with a Perlin noise background. That's where I want to go, is to actually have like themes. So you just draw the boxes, and then you can kind of say, I want a steampunk theme, and then each box could get could get gears behind it, and or like a cyberpunk, it gets like a matrix background to it or something, so you don't actually sit here and pixel push. Instead of that, you just sit here and talk about your data. You tell me where your data is and what you want it to be. Why isn't this rendering right? I'm sure I just broke it. Sometimes it gets out of sync. But yeah, so I think that would be much more interesting, just to actually, so you can rapidly create the boxes that you want to use. You get the template you want to try to play around with crazy ideas. Well, I have messed something up. Oh well, I'll have to troubleshoot that later. Anyway. Oh no, I didn't mess anything up. I hit all these things, so I just can't see them. So that's another thing. Just making it a little more obvious what's going on. This big gray image isn't really helping me. But that's all I've got. I'm rambling now, so I'm probably going to cut this off. Thanks for watching. You can, I guess, shoot me if you're watching this on YouTube, you can drop a comment, and if you're watching it on Twitch, totally subscribe. I'd like to start doing this more often. I think the energy of sharing what I've been working on with the early adopters early and often is going to keep us moving forward at a better pace. And I'm really sorry that I haven't been more communicative up to now. Been quiet too long. So, all right. Thanks a lot, everyone. I will see you on